For years, I've been dreaming about a hypothetical game called Wario Party. Everyone has their dream Nintendo game pitch, and that's mine. Well, that and literally anything with Waluigi as the main character.
One day it will finally be Waluigi time. You'll see.
But what do I mean by Wario Party? The short version is a Mario Party spin-off starring Wario and his whole microgame crew. The more thorough answer is, well, the rest of this video. Thanks to one particular multiplayer mode, WarioWare Move It finally gives us the first taste of what a Wario Party could be.
Line up. Make a match.
Before I can pitch you on Wario Party, I have to explain where it would spin off from. Mario Party. I'm a big fan of that series, and I've talked about its board game inspired design on this channel before. The goal of Mario Party is to acquire the most stars by the end of the game, and each game can be set to last a certain number of turns, often going as high as 50. Players use dice to move around the board, encountering all sorts of randomness along the way. I'm using randomness in a playful way here to describe the various events that happen depending on where you land, but there is also a literal randomness to the game. After each player rolls the dice, they engage in a mini-game, and while a lot of those demand platforming or timing skills, some of them are completely based on random luck. Combine this with the way the events are laid out across each board, and you can have some major rubber banding with whoever's actually in the lead. When it comes to Mario Party, you kinda either love it or hate it. Even if you were unfamiliar with Mario Party before that last paragraph, you can probably already see how all of that would translate nicely to a Wario thing, especially those mini-games. In WarioWare's case, they would be microgames, a term that many of us heard for the first time when the series debuted in 2003, roughly 5 years after Mario Party itself. Mario Party's minigames have varying lengths, but with few exceptions, WarioWare locks everything into mere seconds. The rapid-fire, random nature of it all really helped WarioWare carve out a hilarious niche for itself. Again, I'm using two definitions of random here. Yes, each successive game you get is randomly drawn from the game's overall pool and gives the player a whole new wacky task, but the meme-worthy lol-so-random design of the series is second to none.
Making progress.
If you've played WarioWare, then you already know the series has had multiplayer since day one. I mean, that's the whole basis of the Mega Party Games version on the GameCube, but there's never been anything all that comparable to Mario Party, until Move It introduced Galactic Conquest. Just one look at this multiplayer mode, and you can see why I'm drawing the Mario Party comparison. They're both board games. 2 to 4 players roll dice to race to the goal, and competitive mini-games determine which player actually gets to roll and move forward. Note that I use the word mini-games and not microgames there. These aren't the signature seconds-long scrambles that you'll have in the story mode. They're a bit longer, to give players a chance to actually compete. We've got a soda bottle shake-up, a butt-stamping conveyor belt, somebody's weird fetish, and a few more. They use the same Joy-Con poses as the main campaign, and they even repurpose one of its boss stages to pit players against each other in a dance-off. The WarioWare flavor is here, in the humor and art style, but the randomness of Mario Party is in full effect as well. You see, you don't know what the various tiles are going to do until you land on one. For example, they could send you back, boost you forward, teleport you around the board, or add more spaces before the game-ending rocket. There's even a square that redistributes points among the players, and that idea alone might trigger some people's bad memories of the Bowser Revolution. Remember what I said about Mario Party and its rubber banding? Well, there you go. Galactic Conquest has it too. This minigame where you pluck a random nose hair looking for the longest one is exactly like drawing straws, a timeless experience that fits snugly into the category of dumb luck.
That reminds me, I need to tweeze when this is over.
Now, I did say that this randomization can be polarizing for Mario Party players, and Galactic Conquest isn't perfect either. I gave this video its specific title for that reason. Galactic Conquest is just a start. It's limited. There's only one board, there's only a small handful of rotating minigames, and honestly, I'd prefer to see the regular microgames here anyway. I believe that simply elongating them would be a great way to go. In fact, Move It already has proof of this. Mega Game Muscles mode literally does that exact thing by lengthening certain games, and Move It's credit sequence would be perfect for a high score competition. It sees you yanking 2 sets of words from what I can only describe as a tissue box that's also a turntable. To an extent, the game's other multiplayer modes are already doing these things, and they're repurposing existing microgames too. Medusa March is a souped-up version of this van microgame from Wario's set, which is in essence the same thing as Mario Party's Sneak and Snore, which is really just red light, green light. Like I said, not perfect. But even in this state, Galactic Conquest shows some real potential. It might fall into some of the same traps as Mario Party, but it also fixes one big criticism: speed. Even with partially extended games, each of the competitions between dice rolls are shorter on average than Mario Party's minigames. This alone keeps the game moving faster. On top of that, players get pushed toward the goal faster once the game has gone on for about 20 minutes or so. After turn 10, everyone starts rolling double dice. In Mario Party, a double dice usually only appears in the in-game shop, and it's meant to be used strategically. In Galactic Conquest, it's handed out as a blanket way of saying, hey, we know you're ready to wrap this up now. Let's move it. Galactic Conquest isn't perfect, but with some additional minigames, boards, and action spaces, it could really grow into something special. I'll take my check in the mail, Nintendo. And if you're not ready to accept my pitch just yet, let me try one more tactic.
Give me all the gold right now! Gimme, gimme, gimme!
No, I am not gonna beg, but I am just gonna say, come on. Wario Party just should exist, man. The idea seems so obvious to me, and it has for years. Wario first appeared in Super Mario Land 2 as the anti-Mario, or as director Hiroshi Kiyotaki put it, the Bluto to Mario's Popeye. I mean, his name is a Japanese portmanteau that literally means evil Mario. So by the transitive property, let's have ourselves an evil Mario Party. It obviously doesn't have to be evil in that sense, although Wario was very much constructed as a villain. Just take what Mario Party is known for, put the silly, frantic WarioWare spin on it, and call it a day. I know everyone wants to play armchair developer and say, oh, just do this, it would be easy. But remixing its catalog is something Nintendo already does very well. Fresh and repurposed ideas are how it's been able to bring back retro and dormant franchises. Just look at Battle Royale games like Super Mario Bros. 35 or F-Zero 99. In a literal sense, the company has also released NES Remix 1 and 2. Within the context of WarioWare, remixing Nintendo games has been the entire basis of 9Volt's microgame collection since the series debuted, and it's always a highlight. His boss stage in Move It is based on Super Mario 64's Secret Slide, and it's probably my single favorite thing in the entire game. You can't tell me that competing for a best time wouldn't be a perfect way to determine who rolls the dice in the next turn of Galactic Conquest. And speaking of potential rollers, you don't have to think too hard about what other characters Wario Party could include. The cast has been growing for 2 decades, and the eclectic bunch features sports-playing disco dancers, twin ninjas, cyborg geniuses, hungry aliens, and so much more. Although I do have to point out a glaring omission.
Seriously, how have I never been invited? Look at this. This is my only appearance in the entire series, and I look so stupid.
Whew, Waluigi and I were both getting pretty worked up there, huh? Let me just take a deep breath and collect my thoughts. Okay, so polarizing or not, Mario Party is a hugely popular franchise, with room for experimentation. I think twisting its formula to create something in the vein of WarioWare would be a very smart move for Nintendo to make. Take the board game concept and swap it out for a Wario theme, then replace the minigames with more quick-fire microgames. Even extended versions of those are shorter by comparison. The same game genres are already present in both franchises anyway. Galactic Conquest gives us a small taste of what Wario Party could be, and for that, I'm already grateful. I started this channel on the basis of positivity, and if all we ever get is a continuing WarioWare series with more zany microgames and no proper Mario Party equivalent, that's okay too. The multiplayer modes we've had since the beginning are still super fun and will continue to evolve. But I do think Nintendo is leaving money on the table by not creating something like this. And let's be real, Wario would never leave any money on the table.
Tony says thank you very much for watching this video. If you like what Framework is doing, you hit the button in the middle and you subscribe, and that would be a big help to the channel. And if you want to see what they have already made, you click the link on the left. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.